Hiya, welcome back to Mrs. O'Graham's Maths. I've had a request to do this question, which is question 4 from the summer 2019 question paper 13, and it's about functions for AS Pure 1. Okay, so we've got this function being defined as f of x and then another one for g of x. Part 1 is to find the greatest value of a and the least value of b, which will permit the formation of the composition function gf. So first of all, think about what could happen to f. So the limits on f are 3 and 7. So if we put 3 into f, we would get the answer of 12. And if we do the same for 7, we get the answer of 8. So those are the limits of what that function could come out as. If it wasn't linear, then you might have to think about it a bit more. If it was a quadratic or something, you'd need to think about where the maximum or minimum is. But this one being linear, we can just use the top and bottom of the domain to work out the top and bottom of the range. Okay, so those are the numbers that could get put into g of x. So these get fed in on our composite function. We do that first and then feed it into g of x. So if we put a in as 8 and b in as 12, those are our answers there of what were the limits on what could go into gf. Now for part 2, we want to find an expression for gf of x. That means we do f and then we put it into g. So that looks like this. So we've got the f part inside of the bracket just here. And then we have the that we are going to multiply that out once we do the g to that part and simplify that expression. Just one mark, and that's all we need. You do need to expand it out, though. You can't leave it in this form here. You've got to actually do that extra step of simplifying what you've got there. And then part 3, find an expression for the inverse of that. So if we first of all let y equal that thing that we just worked out, and then we rearrange to make x the subject like this, then we get down to this last line here, and that is what we put in as our inverse expression here, just with the x in there where we had the y. We take that y back out. That was just a tool to help us do the inverse, to work through rearranging it, and there is our inverse function of gf of x.